Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny, and I'm, of course, here with my co-host, Caleb.
Hello.
And we want to start our episode out today by giving a huge shout-out, of course, to our patrons. So, thank you to Austin Johnson, Kane Martin, Mocha, Myth Oceanus, Scuzz Daddy, AD, Aaron Gardner, Anthony Leela, Damian Zink, Dino DNA, Mountain Man, Owen Alvarado, Pigs, Cyber, Jeremy Drysdale, Ray Powell, and Sunny Sweet. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast, and we hope to bring that support into the new year. So, we have a ton to cover today, and we've already recorded our live episode at ETB in Alexandria. Thank you, of course, to our sponsor, ETB. And so you'll hear all of that at the end of today's episode, the last half of the episode. But in the meantime, we have a ton of news and new things to cover. So first, we have some quick play news.
Yep.
For OCG, we have the return of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series Japan. So YCSs have returned to Japan. This is cool. Great competitive information to have. Always good to know.
Oh, yeah, particularly for the OCG meta.
Mhm.
Let's see. Next up, we have the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush.
Yep.
It is Yu-Gi-Oh! In space. The main character is an alien.
Yeah, it's all Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel stuff. So Yuhi Odo and Yuamu Odo are elementary schooler twins living in Mutsuba Town who are in charge of the Alien Extermination Company UTS, or Alien ATC, Alien Trouble Consultancy. They spend their days working really hard searching for aliens using a mysterious device created by Yuhi. That is, until one fateful day. Right after they created a mystery school club, they found a real spaceship, and inside of it they made contact with Udius, an alien from the distant Veilger star cluster. Now it's time to enter the new stage of Rush Duel, introduced by this alien soldier from the far ends of the galaxy. Let's go Rush. So, yep. Rush Duel.
Yep, that's cool.
Rush Duel anime.
Yep. Well, Seven's part 2, basically.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Next, we have some cool alt arts for Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, and Dark Magician Girl coming to the OCG in one of their new sets that we're probably not going to get.
Not gonna lie, they're kind of mid. Not great, but
They're all right.
yeah, they're okay. Could have been better. Could have been much worse. Oh, could have been so much worse. Let's see. And lastly, we have the next V-Jump promo. It's called Chongxie the Spiritualist. It's a dark level 6. That's all we know.
Yep.
The description describes this card as having great affinity with the zombie monsters printed in the latest pack.
Right.
Regarding the name, the kanji would literally be a Taoist spiritual master, but it's also a one character short of being a Japanese name for the Hong Kong movie Mr. Vampire, a popular Jiangxi movie. So Chongxie is how we're localizing the name, which seems to be a middle ground between Jiangxi, the Japanese word for it, and Kionshi, which Japanese word for Kionshi, and probably even the name of the main character of the movie, Master Cal, Master Chen in the Japanese version.
All right.
For those of you who don't know, a Jiangxi is a Asian vampire who is currently experiencing rigor mortis. So the only way it can move is by hopping forward.
That's hilarious.
So the hopping vampire, as you would.
All right. The next piece of quick play news, we have Legendary Duelists, Duel from the Deep. So we have the cover art as well as the official name for the Legendary Duelist water set here in the TCG, featuring Mako Tsunami with his Fortress Whale on the cover. So
as compared to in the OCG version of it had Shark on the front.
Right. So they were like, ew, a bad guy from a new anime? Gross. Let's use DM pandering for a side character.
Well, okay, so Shark in that anime started out as a villain in like the first couple of episodes, and then he became their Joey.
Oh, really?
If I'm recalling correctly.
I think he's just a bad guy.
No, he wasn't at first.
Oh, I remember, like, from what I've seen on Twitter, he's just a bad guy. Like,
yeah,
the big
like
bad
he
guy.
was, and then he joined the main cast, and then became a villain again near the end, and then switched back to being a good guy.
Okay, see, I've seen literally none of the anime and read none of the manga, so I don't know.
Keep in mind, this is me coming off the first, 5 episodes of the anime, and then playing through the story mode of the Duel Links game on the PC.
Okay, got it.
Not the one on, you can play on your phone.
Got it. So it could be anything. The description is dive into legendary duelist duels from the deep, featuring new cards for 3 water strategies used by duelists from Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrain's animated series. Brand new cards for the strategies used by the famed fisherman and duelist Mako Tsunami, Nash, and the alter ego of Shark and leader of the 7 Barian Emperors, and Sky Zazen as Blue Maiden splash into this upcoming set. A whale of a tale awaits with a new version of Mako Tsunami's Fortress Whale that can strike down your opponent's monster before it can attack. Pick up a pair of new Water Xyz monsters that let you set up a powerful rank-up combination that can summon the number C monsters from 101 to 107 with their effects active, and unlock a wave of new cards for Blue Maiden's Marincess strategy that'll wash your opponent away.
Legendary Duelists, Duels from the Deep will also include a hard-to-find Ghost Rare version of an iconic water monster. The complete booster set contains 56 cards, asterisk, 9 Ultras, 8 Supers, 10 Rares, 29 Commons, and 1 Ghost Rare. Keep in mind, named in context subject to change. Content subject to change.
Okay, we don't know what the Ghost Rare is yet, right?
Nope.
Okay, well, we'll find that out soon enough, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll wrap us up for our quick play news. We do, of course, want to take a quick moment to let everybody know, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If that's where you're listening, be sure to follow or subscribe or whatever the method is for whatever platform you're listening on. And once you leave that review, let us know so we can read it out on the podcast. Also, be sure to join our Discord. There will be a link in the description below, I believe through our link tree, which is now in the description.
Yeah, Linktree.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Top Cut Podcast, at Dat Chumley for myself, and at, even though I'm never on mine, I'm just always on the podcast Twitter, and at JamTheMan17.
Yep.
For Caleb. All right. Let's go ahead and get on into our main stuff. We have a ton of new cards and new content to talk about. So,
yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the first card, which is Libromancer Geekboy.
Yes, it is a Wind Psychic level 3 monster with 800 attack and defense, so it is a
E-Tele target.
E-Tele target. Effect. You can reveal 1 ritual monster in your hand. Special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Libromancer spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Libromancer Geekboy once per turn. The artwork, I'm not gonna lie, is kind of baller. So it has this kid, super scrawny, glasses. He's got headphones, and then behind him is this big buff dude. And I'm like, that's a stand. That's a stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What we doing here? Is that an enemy stand user?
Yeah, a lot of people are calling this the JoJo thing. So what this is the beginnings of the next TCG archetype from Battles or Dimension Battle of Chaos.
Yeah. So they're kind of giving this the B-Trooper Scout Buggy treatment, where they reveal this card from the archetype because it's the promo card, and then they don't give us any of the rest of the archetype.
Yeah, so this will be our new TCG exclusive archetype.
And it's a ritual archetype.
Yes. So
now, to be fair, one thing that I immediately noticed about this card is that if you E-Tele it, you immediately get your search off.
Yes.
And in addition, another my immediate thought was also, this also combos pretty well with Saravius, who's also a hand trap, in addition to being a ritual monster. So reveal, special, search, and then if you special summon it, if you reveal Saravius, special summon, activate effect of search, your opponent can't, well, they can attempt to Veil or Imperm, but then you just chain Saravius from your hand and negate that.
Right, so it's pretty interesting. It'll combo well with some stuff, and I would like to update my newest, I would like to update my ban list predictions to also put E-Tele to 3 now.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure E-Tele is going to 3 at this point.
All right, so let's move on to the next set of stuff. We have some new cards from the set Dimension Force, which is the upcoming set in the OCG.
Yep. It's the set for us after Battles of Chaos, I think.
Correct. It will be the next core set after Battles of Chaos. So, a new Psychic Ace monster arises to drive mind manipulation, time control, and life points and banishing to a higher dimension. This is Psychic and Punisher.
Level 11 light psychic synchro effect. Interesting.
Yep. 3,500 attack, 3,500 defense, materials, 1 tuner, and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. 1. While your life points are equal to or less than your opponent's, this synchro summoned card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Gross. 2. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points and target one monster you control and one card your opponent controls. Banish those targets. 3. At the start of the battle phase, you can make this card gain attack equal to the difference between both players' life points. So, a couple notable things. The once per turn on the pay 1,000, target one monster you control, one card your opponent controls, banish those. That's a soft once per turn. And the battle phase effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to the difference between life points. That is a permanent attack point gain.
Yeah.
So,
it's
a really cool card.
So the reason why I want to point out it's a level 11 light synchro, it's just Thought Ruler Archfiend, but with a level 3 tuner.
Oh, I guess that would work.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. Because that just occurred to me. It's Thought Ruler Archfiend with a level 3 tuner. So...
It does kind of look like an upgraded form of Thought Ruler Archfiend, too, like the artwork does.
So, you literally make Thought Ruler, E-Telly into a tuner, bam, you got it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I was just like, what on earth? Overall, I think it's cool. I don't think it's going to actually be run, but it's cool. It's really
no,
cool.
It will absolutely be run in Psychic combo decks. This card is a finisher. This card is really good.
That's a good point.
Especially in like the new what's that new set coming out? The Punk archetype, because
Yeah.
they all lower your own life points.
But can they hit level 11 though? I thought they.
I don't know. I don't remember all the levels and how many of them are tuners or anything like that.
Yeah, because I know that the vast majority of them are level 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can fuse into a level 6, and then I think they can synchro for a level 9.
Some of it might depend on what the new Libromancers are.
That's fair, because if they're also a synchro archetype, because the one card we see is just a psychic monster. There's no tuner, no nothing.
Right.
So
Surely there's got to be a psychic archetype in the game that can abuse this.
pure psychics maybe.
I don't know. I'm sure there is one, but we just don't know it.
Yeah, we're off the top of our heads. But, still, it's cool that they have that as a possibility.
Yep. Okay, next we have some more cards from Dimension Force. This is support cards for some Grand Creators archetypes.
Yes. First off, we have Illegal Knight. Dark Fiend, level
That's
7.
illegal.
I know, right? It's illegal not to be a warrior and be a knight. 2000 level 7, 2000 attack, 2000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. During the main phase. If you control no monsters, or you control a Adventurer token, quick effect, special summon this card from your hand. 2. If you control an Adventurer token, quick effect, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls. Give control of this card to your opponent, and if you do, return those cards to the hand.
So this will pair with the Brave token archetype.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a kaiju?
It's good.
Yeah.
It'll pair good with the Brave token stuff.
Oh, yeah, no. Especially because it gives your opponent a 2k beat stick. That's level 7.
Yeah. Next we have Exorcisters Magnifica. Light Warrior Exceeds Effect Monster is a rank 8 with 2800 attack and 2800 defense. The materials is 2 rank 4 Exorcisters Exceeds Monsters. Must be Exceed summoned with the above Exceeds materials. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase.
Hey man, at 2800 attack points, that's beefy.
Oh, it gets better. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, banish one card your opponent controls.
Broken.
Soft once per turn. 3. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can return one Exceeds monster attached to this card as material to the extra deck. Then you can special summon that monster using this card you control as material. This is treated as an Exceeds summon. Transfer this card's materials to the special summoned monster. So
wait, you can make this thing, banish something, and then activate its effect to just tag out into the other thing.
yes, which supports what the deck already did, which was tagging out, and it punishes your opponent for playing a graveyard-based strategy.
No.
Yeah, no, this card is actually, it's amazing for the archetype. It gives them a boss monster, but
it can also attack twice. So
Yeah.
what you could theoretically do is if your opponent's got a big monster you can't run over, you can just banish it and then pop.
and with it being a soft once per turn on the banish one card your opponent controls.
If you have multiple of the rank 4s, you can overlay, pop, tag out, overlay, boop, tag out, overlay,
Yeah.
boop, tag
Yeah,
out.
you can cycle them. Yeah.
If you have multiple rank, if you have 3 rank 4s on board.
Yeah.
No, 4. You'd have to have 4.
No, you only need 3.
No, because you need
Well, if you have 4, you can do it 3 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you have 4, you can do it. If you have 3, you can do it twice because you can overlay 2, make this, detach 1, do it, and then, tag out, and then overlay again into this again.
Yeah.
So,
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Let's see. Lastly, for this set, we have No Punk Dia Note, Earth Warrior, level 5, 1200 attack, 1800 defense. This is for the Punk archetype.
Right.
You can only use the first second effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. You can reveal one other Punk monster in your hand. Special summon this card or the reveal card, and if you do, send the other card to the graveyard. That's pretty good. It literally turns any of the other Punk monsters into a extender. 2. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a Punk monster in your graveyard, except a level 5 monster. Special summon it, but you cannot special summon No Punk Dia Note for the rest of this turn. Which is also pretty good. That's actually a really solid card for the Punk archetype.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Will it make them good? I don't know.
Yeah. Next, we have a new card called Beyond the Pendulum, the Electromite substitute. So this is a Dark Spellcaster Link 2 effect monster, 1200 attack, arrows are bottom left and bottom right. Materials is 2 effect monsters, including a Pendulum monster. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. If this card is link summoned to the extra monster zone, you can pay 1200 life points. Cost. Add 1 Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. After adding it to your hand, until the end of this turn, you cannot activate monster effects. Also, the effects of cards in your Pendulum zone are negated until you Pendulum summon. 2. If 2 monsters with different original levels are Pendulum summoned at the same time to the zones this card points to, you can target 2 cards on the field, destroy them. It's very cool. It's very much an extender. It's not as good as Electromite. And the main thing I want to point out is that you can target 2 cards on the field and destroy them. That is, you have to destroy both.
Yes, so
if one gets removed from the field in some other way, then,
Yeah, you don't get to pop them both. Yeah, it's definitely Electromite light. I guess the OC just got tired of Electromite being banned and went, whatever. Let's make a new one.
Yeah, so this is definitely just a Pendulum card.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like pendulums, but whatever.
Okay, next up we got new support for Yuri's archetype from the Arc V. Which is the guy from the Fusion Dimension. Predaplant support is what I'm saying. We got more Predaplants. Starting off with Predaplant Triantis, level 8 Dark Plant Pendulum monster. 2400 attack, 1000 defense, level 8, Pendulum scale of 8. Pendulum effect. You can use cards in your Pendulum zone as material to fusion summon a Dark Fusion monster as if the monsters were on the field.
Yo.
That's busted. If this card is used as material for a fusion summon and sent to the graveyard or added to the extra deck face up, you can place a Predator counter each on a number of monsters on the field up to the number of monsters you currently control. And if you do, any of those monsters that are level 2 or higher become level 1 as long as they have a Predator counter. Note that this card's named after the praying mantis.
All right, the next card is the other pendulum that goes with it, which is Predaplant Bufolicula. It is a level 1 Dark Plant Pendulum effect monster, 0 attack, 0 defense, pendulum scale of 0. Pendulum effect. You can only use this pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 Dark Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Monster effect. You can only use this monster effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. If this card is used as material for a fusion summon and sent to the graveyard or added to the extra deck face up, you can add 1 Dark Pendulum monster from your extra deck to the hand except Predaplant Bufolicula. This card is named after Bufo, which is a group of true toads, and Cephalotus folliculas. I don't know.
Cephalotus is a genus which contains only 1 species. Oh, pitcher plants.
Sure.
All right, it's the plants like Vitrubil's based off of, where they like attract flies and they fall in.
Oh, okay.
So what's great about this card though is if you have them, if you have both and this previous card in your hand, you can just pop them on the field, perform a Pendulum summon, and then effect just diffuse them off.
Yep.
Out of your Pendulum zones, and then get effect to search for another Predaplant monster.
Yeah, they pair extremely well together.
Next up is Predaplant Biplisp. Level 1, 0 Dark Plant, 0 attack, 1900 defense. You only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Predaplant monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. 2. If there is a monster with a Predator counter on the field, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. That's also busted!
Yeah, these cards are really good. Next up is...
a new fusion.
Oh, boy. Predaplant Meliodes.
Meliodas.
No.
Yeah, Meliodas is probably closer.
Melioides.
These names are weird.
Oh, dude.
Bear with us.
Level 5 Dark Plant Fusion Effect Monster. 1000 attack, 2500 defense. Material is 2 Predaplant monsters. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. 1. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add 1 Predaplant monster or 1 Predap spell or trap from your deck, graveyard, or face-up extra deck to your hand. 2. You can target 1 opponent's monster with a Predator counter or 1 monster you control. Tribute it, and if you do, special summon 1 Predaplant monster from your deck. This is so good. This card is named after Ambulocetus and some scientific name, bro.
Okay, so Ambulocetus is a early crustacean. I'm talking like the first fish has walked on land early. And then the other one's just some desert plant that I don't recognize. Lastly, for this set anyway, we have a Star Venom Predator Fusion Dragon. In English, this would be Starving Venom Predator Fusion Dragon. It's a new Starving Venom monster. Level 10 Dark Dragon Fusion Effect. 3600 attack, 2500 defense. He is beefy. Materials, a Dark Fusion monster and a Fusion monster. Jeez, that's near impossible to make.
All right.
This card is always treated as a Predaplant card. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect. Tribute a monster with a Predator counter from either field, and if you do, negate the activation. If your opponent has a monster with a Predator counter on it, you can tribute it to negate their own thing.
Yep.
Hilarious. 2. If this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard by your opponent, you can target a dark monster graveyard and special summon it. Including itself.
Yeah, these are so good.
So if your opponent if your opponent if your opponent sends it to the graveyard for any reason, it can just bring itself right back out, and its first negate effect is a soft once per turn.
Yeah, dude, these Predaplant cards are so good.
Oh no! You get that effect if your opponent hits you with Maximus.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your opponent sends it to the graveyard.
Yep.
That's hilarious. I like this.
All right, next we have a new card.
Pure Predaplant, best deck.
Next we have a new card from the Super Shiny box. We have Sky Striker Mobilize Linkage. This is a quick play spell. 1. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except Sky Striker Ace monsters. Also, send 1 other card you control to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. And if you have at least 1 light and 1 dark Sky Striker Ace monsters on your field and or your graveyard, the summoned monster gains 1000 attack. This card's kind of cool. What it can do is basically it can give Sky Strikers a way to get their monsters rolling with their extra deck without having to use Ray or Rose.
Yeah, so for instance, if your opponent bounces it or just destroys the Ray or Rose, it lets them still play.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And it doesn't really lock you out of anything except
your non-Sky Striker monsters.
Right. So if you're going to do a Verte Anaconda play, you need to do it before you activate this. But what you can do is, if you have a Ray and a Sky Striker Ace monster on the field, you can link them off, make Verte, activate Verte, send Fusion Destiny, summon DPE, and then activate this and summon one of your Sky Striker Ace monsters. Well, you'd have to pop the Verte.
Yeah, you'd have to pop Verte, and then have DPE pop itself, because you can't have anything in your main monster zone.
That's right. So you'd have to use DPE to pop DPE and Verte. Declare effective DPE to bring itself back. And then you can activate this, special summon one of your Sky Striker Ace monsters to your extra monster zone. And then you can still do your Sky Striker stuff. And then on your opponent's standby, the DPE will come back to your field. And you still have the DPE interrupt, plus you still have your Sky Striker stuff.
Correct.
So there is a way to sequence this where you can still play DPE with your Sky Striker stuff and this not interrupt it too badly.
Yeah, it's more of an annoyance than anything else, but I think it's worth it.
Yes, you just have to be really careful that, because after the rest of this turn after this resolves, you cannot, special summon except for Sky Striker Aces.
Okay, next up we actually have a set of new cards that are all based on the anime through the years. There's one card based on each series.
Right.
So to begin with, we have Duel Tower Alcatraz.
What set is HCO1? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what...
If you could Google that while I'm reading this first card.
Sure.
Okay, so the Duel Monsters era card is called Duel Tower Alcatraz. 1, at the start of the it's a field spell. 1. At the start of the battle phase, activate this effect. Each player can reveal one monster from their deck, except a monster with question mark attack. And, if they do, banish those monsters face down. The player that revealed the monster with the highest attack can special summon a monster from their hand, and if they do, it can attack directly. 2. Once per turn during the end phase, you can activate this effect. If this card is still on the field during the end phase of your next turn, destroy all cards on the field.
Oh my goodness.
That's hilarious.
We missed an entire new set.
Oh no.
With a bunch of new cards in it.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that at the end. It's called History Archive cards.
Oh, this is what this is. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what set this is from.
Okay, next up for the cards. You want to get this one?
Oh, yeah, you know I do.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a big fan of GX, so we have Duel Academy. It is a field spell card. This card gains these effects based on the types of monsters on the field. Warrior, Beast, or Pyro. Once per turn, if you activate a trap card, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Dinosaur, Sea Serpent, or Thunder. Once per turn, if you activate a spell card, you can inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. Machine, Fairy, or Fiend. Once per turn, if you activate a monster effect, you can target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack. The artwork is literally just a picture of the Duel Academy Island. It's awesome.
From GX.
Yeah.
Card's terrible, but it's cool.
Yep.
Next up is the card's called Riding Duel Acceleration. The English name will be Ready, Set, Duel, which is 5Ds. Continuous spell card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. When this card resolves, if you control no other cards, you can add a Synchron monster from your deck to your hand.
Yo.
Just Synchron Search. Once per turn, during your standby phase, place a signal counter on this card. 3. You can remove 2 signal counters from this card and send this face-up card to the graveyard. Draw 2 cards. Then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard.
Seems cool if it's the only card, if it's in your opening hand.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's definitely going first. Activate this card. Effect a search.
All right. Next we have Overlay Network. This is obviously from the Zexal era. Continuous spell. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. During your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Target one face-up monster you control that has a level. Special summon one monster with the same level from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Its effects are negated. You cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of this during the turn you activate this effect except Xyz monsters. Target one Xyz monster control, add, and then like the other effect, just you can activate one of these, is target one Xyz monster you control, add one card attached to it to that owner's hand.
That's pretty good. That's actually a pretty good card for Exceed based decks.
It's all right.
The problem is it's not searchable.
Yeah, not only is it not searchable, but it's just like
Well,
a continuous spell. It just sits there, and sure, it's like all right,
yeah.
but I don't know.
Like I said, it's cool. It's cool.
It won't see a play, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It would be cool for like a sealed format.
Oh, definitely. Next up, we have the Arc V card, Battle Royale mode, joining. Continuous spell card. Activate this card by targeting one effect monster on the field. 1. The first 2 times that target will be destroyed by battle each turn. It is not destroyed, so your opponent has to destroy it, has to attack over it 3 times in a battle phase. When that target is destroyed by battle, that player that destroyed it gains 2,000 life points. 2. If the turn player's opponent takes battle or effect damage, they can apply this effect. Special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand or deck, and if you do, lose 2,000.
All right.
Terrible.
Next card is Into the Vrains. This is obviously for the Vrains anime. Normal spell card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. 1. Special summon one monster from your hand, but its effects are negated. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, link summon using that monster you control. This link summon cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is link summoned this way. 2. If a link monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, add one monster with the same original type as that monster from your graveyard to your hand. This could be kind of cool for all those Cyberse decks.
Yeah.
Like Adignister.
Yeah, it'd be alright. Any deck that has a Link 1. Prank kids, prank kids, prank kids, prank kids.
Yeah.
It is...
But it would be bad in Prank Kids because the second effect of adding one monster with the same original type from your graveyard to your hand. So that makes it better in like a full Cyberse deck because they're all the same type.
Yeah, well, you could. It doesn't. I don't think it. I think you can just like let's say you use Roxy's, you can just add the Roxy's you just use back to your hand.
No, because it has to be the same type as Link Monster.
Same type as Link Monster. That is fair.
So it's unplayable in Prank Kids.
Yeah. Rough.
But I mean, there's different things you can do with it.
Yeah.
So now we have the History Archive cards, or the History Archive Collection, which is HCO1. This is a new set releasing in Japan. We don't know if we're getting this here, but it does have some new cards. Notably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new cards to talk about. All right, man, just when we thought we were almost done. We have Soul Energy Max, a normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. If you control an Obelisk the Tormentor whose original attribute is Divine, you contribute 2 face-up monsters except that Obelisk to destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, inflict 4,000 damage to them. 2. During the main or battle phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Obelisk the Tormentor from your deck to your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one Obelisk the Tormentor face up. It's alright. It's cool, but it's alright.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up is Evolution Result Burst. Normal spell card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. 1. You cannot special monster the rest of this turn after this card's resolved, except with spell effects. Also, add one Overload Fusion. From your deck to your hand. Also, the maximum number of attacks per battle phase this turn of any monster you can fuse summon using 6 or more materials Overload Fusion this turn is equal to the number of materials used for its summon. Okay.
So you can attack like 6 or 7 times with something if you use 6 or more materials.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
All
particularly because you activate this card and you add Overload Fusion. Overload Fusion to a big 4,500 attack point monster and just daka.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of daka.
Next is the Great Soul. It is a normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. 1. If a Dragon Synchro monster is on the field, special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters and or level 1 Dragon monsters from your deck. 2. When a monster effect is activated, if you control a level 10 or higher Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate that effect, and if you do, one Synchro monster you control gains 2,000 attack until the end of the turn.
For those of you who hadn't been able to pick up on it, because I didn't pick up on it until literally just now, the first card was Duel Monsters era Obelisk the Tormentor support. The second card was specifically for Cyber Dragons,
which is GX era.
This card is specifically for Red Dragon Archfiend,
which is 5D's era.
Yeah. It's
wonder what the next one will be.
Let's find out. Dragon King's Myth or Dragon King's Legend?
It'll depend on translation.
Yeah. Quick play. You can only use one effect among its first, second effects once per turn. So it's two. It's a hard once per turn. You can only get one of these 2 effects per turn,
and only once that turn.
1. Target one dragon monster you control. Double its current attack until the end of this turn. Then, if your opponent also controls a dragon monster, the target monster's effects activations cannot be negated this turn. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon in defense position one of your Dragon SC's monsters that is banished or in the graveyard. This is for Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon.
Yeah.
Who is straight up in the artwork.
Next is The Wonders of Nature / Graceful Song Under a Frosty Moon. Again, it'll depend on translation. This is an equipped spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. Special summon one level 4 or lower Fairy Spellcaster, Winged Beast, or Beast Warrior monster from your hand, and if you do equip it with this card, then you can return all Dragon monsters on the field to the hand. 2. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there while it was face up in the Spell and Traps card zone, You can add one polymerization spell, one fusion spell, or one fusion parasite from your deck to your hand. Note, this card's name is a riff on the Japanese concept of beauties of nature, which is implied to have been the basis for the motifs around Yuzu and her counterparts, and is written as flowers, birds, wind, moon. This card's name literally reads Song, Ice, Gracefulness, Moon instead.
That's really cool.
Yep.
That's a really cool concept for a
And
card.
that
I like
is
it.
an Arc V card.
Next up, we have Prisoners of Fate or Prisoners of Destiny. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Once per chain, if a Link 4 monster is Link summoned, you can place one counter on this card. Maximum 3. Then you can play one of these effects depending upon the number of counters on this card. 1. Declare a card name, and for the rest of this turn, negate the activate effects and effects on the field of cards with that original name. Okay, weird. 2. Special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. 3. Send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Link 4 monster from your extra deck. This is for specifically gun dragons, which would be the rockets and the Boral monsters. Boral Sword, Boral Load, Boral Guard, the various Boral Load dragons, Boral Guard dragon, excluding like Boral Load Furious and Boral Load Savage.
Yeah.
Which are like retrains, is different.
Right.
Yeah.
And with this, we also have some reprints. We have Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, Chimera Tech Over Dragon, Red Supernova Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm, and Link Haribo. So, some cool stuff.
Very cool stuff.
We don't know for sure that those reprints will come here to the TCG, but
we're not even 100% sure if we're even getting the set at all.
Right. So, alrighty. If I had to guess, those cards might come in next year's Mega Tins.
Yeah. Okay, and lastly, we have Master Duel news.
Yep, we have some cool Master Duel stuff. So this is all from the Jump Festa, which is like a little big jump thing that they had over in Japan. So we still don't have a release date at this time officially, but
come out.
Yeah, I'm seeing all over Twitter that apparently there was a release date shown somewhere, but not officially announced as the 31st.
December 31st, specifically, yes?
I think so. I don't know.
So New Year's. Huh.
Yeah. I guess it's pretty much decided that it'll be released at least in Japan on the 31st. I don't know exactly when it'll be released here worldwide, but I would imagine probably by mid-January at the latest.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like the end of January 30th to the 31st at the latest, at the absolute latest.
Yeah, so
end of January
So something to note, some like quick hit things that we have going on. Some of the newest information, we do know that you can carry your data across multiple devices. So if you want to play on your phone, then on your computer, then on your
Switch, then on your PlayStation.
Exactly. So
all the same account.
Yep. As reported previously, events and tournaments will be held using a variety of regulations, most likely meaning forbidden and limited lists, but perhaps other limitations. And so the top room reads standard and the one below reads dual room can be used. So a couple of different formats that they're going to support here, which would be very cool.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of hoping we can have like a goat room and an Edison room.
I think it's more likely though that they mean you can play either TCG or OCG.
Most likely.
Yeah. So aim to be the number one player in the world using your most favorable regulation. So like I said, probably either TCG or OCG. By using the connection with the card database, you can check the deck recipes from duelists all over the world.
Like Neuron.
Yep, similar to Neuron. As previously reported, you can draw initial 5-card hands of your deck, and the second pick shows that you can keep drawing the next card over and over by pressing the +1 bottom on the right.
Like Neuron.
Just like Neuron. You can dismantle and craft cards. This is big. The value on the left side is how many cards are being dismantled, and the one on the right is how many copies the player will have left. So the 70 to 100 value is like a system of points, in this case for super rare cards, increasing to 100 after this dismantling. At the top, you can see there are values for commons, rares, and ultra rares as well. So then there's a card creation screen. So there's like the super rare copy of Twin Twister that's being created using super rare points that were previously given by dismantling super rare copies of Pot of Desires.
So it kind of works like Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering Arena works, where if you got a bunch of cards if you had like more than a playset of a card, or if you had a bunch of cards you just were not going to use ever,
Right.
you can just take them apart to make the cards you're looking for.
Right. So
instead of just constantly opening packs trying to get what you're looking for.
yeah. So dismantling the cards gives you +10, and crafting gives you -30. So you need
the numbers stay the same.
Right. So you need like 3 play sets of one card to get 1 play set of a different card.
Yeah. Which, again, if you're playing this game, if you're able to earn cards by playing the game over and over and over and over, you'll probably have hundreds of extra cards you're not using.
Which is the next thing. As mentioned earlier, there is a solo mode with stories based on card illustrations, which doubles as a tutorial.
Cool.
This also confirms that by clearing some of them, you can obtain cards through the story mode. In this case, a Monarch structure deck. So clear the story mode, get some cards.
Yeah, which is, I mean, the Monarch structure deck is actually a fairly solid structure deck, too.
Yeah. Then we have the next screen, which is the shop. This screen shows you how you can purchase master packs. The menu reads detailed information, rates, which is how hard it is to pull each card, forbidden and limited list, and cards included in the pack. 1 pack can be purchased for 100 gems. 10 packs can be purchased for 1,000 gems. If 10 packs are purchased, you are guaranteed to get at least 1 super rare or higher, and this particular pack contains 8 cards. So these values might only be for this particular pack, we don't know, but there are many different card packs. We see also in some of the artwork that there's some keys popping up above some of the cards. We don't know what that means.
No, we do know. That means that because there's a bunch of different packs, in order to unlock some packs, you have to pull a specific card. So just for an example, because I think this is an example this isn't like, so like let's say you wanted a pack that's got like a whole bunch of Fluffle stuff in it, you have to pull like a patchwork card or something, and then that'll unlock you to give you the ability to buy the
Fluffle pack or whatever.
Yeah. The only reason why I even say this is because on one of the pictures on the left, there's like a Fright for Cruel Whale.
Oh yeah, I see now.
It's why that was my immediate thought.
Yeah. So new card packs can be unlocked depending on certain cards you pull, and the pictures on the right are the secret packs or whatever. We also see that fields, sleeves, icons, and mates can also be purchased at the stores by some mystery currency that we don't know anything about yet.
Okay, so here's how I think their system's going to work. You have the points, which as you build cards. You earn gems in game by playing the game. Buy packs with that. And then there's a third currency that is, you have to pay real money for that. And that's how they're going to make their money, is off of the fields, the dual avatars, which they're calling mates, apparently. Dual mates?
Yes.
Which is cool. And stuff like that.
Yep.
So it seems like that the thing I'll have to spend real money on, the pay to win, quote unquote, aspect is probably just going to be like cosmetics,
right?
Which I'm actually completely fine with. If that's the case, in my opinion, that I'm fine with that. That's cool.
Yeah,
because you don't need the cosmetics to play the game.
All right, next we have the podcast question of the day. So the previous podcast question of the day was, what is 1 card you would like to see unbanned on the upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden and Limited list? So we have a lot of, interesting answers. Pretty sure an errata on Perform Age, Perform Out cards and hard once per turn, and they'd be fine. Maybe, but they're Pendulum cards. They can stay there.
Yeah.
Electromite, Harp, and Title, although Blaster's more likely, and I would be very secretly like Ib. No. We have several people that said Colossus. Nah, that's a sussy opinion. Several people said Electromite. No.
Stop being such a sussy baka.
Yeah. the January 2020 bans, I know this counts as 3, but like most of the community wants them back, and I personally would love to see them all back. Playing Thunder Dragon would be even better for me, and Orcus would be playable. Also, more Triff gaming content along with Electromist Pend is more fun. I disagree with all of that. I don't want any of those cards back.
I'm actually kind of fine with Harp Horror coming to 1. Kind of.
Okay, I don't want Thunder Dragon Colossus to 1 because it's basically a Link 1 floodgate, and I don't want Harp Horror back because it is way too versatile, and it just enables BS extremely long combo lines for no reason.
Like, if it didn't do that, I'd be like, yeah, sure, go ahead and give it back to Harp Horror. But the problem, and part of me does because we have a friend who really likes the archetype.
Yeah.
and I kind of want to, and you know,
I don't want any of it back. Spiral Master Plan, not a hard once per turn. That card can stay gone. Denglong, have you seen Sword Soul?
Yeah, no. With Sword Soul, as long as Sword Soul is in the meta, you can't have Denlong.
Yeah. Masterpiece, I'm good. Orcus Harpor, Mermaid is gone, so free the harp. Nah.
That is fair. That Mermaid's gone.
Nah. Pot agreed to 1. Funny, but it won't happen.
Konami hates 3+1s.
Yeah. Harpor, Colossus, Harpor, Union Carrier. No, what's his name is back, so that card can't come back.
Like, if they want to bring back Union Carrier, they need to errata it so its effect is correct, and that you can only do it to Union monsters.
Yeah, if they made it to where it could only grab Union monsters, then it'd be awesome. But as it stands, it can grab Dragon Buster Destruction Sword still. So and which is back at 3 now. So
yeah, which is gross.
Grass and Fairy Tale Snow. Grass, I'd be cool with coming back to 1 because I think it's funny and would make innovative deck building. Fairy Tale Snow, that card's not a once per turn. That card can stay banned. Any of the banned Zodiac cards. I think if you unbanned any one of them, it would be fine. If you unbanned more than one of them,
Zodiac
it becomes a problem.
Yeah, Zodiac becomes tier 1 again.
Yeah. Shockmaster. No. I played during that format. It can stay gone.
No. You do not know pain until your opponent in 1 turn makes 2 Shockmasters.
Ew. As a rogue player, it just feels so bad that a monster that did nothing wrong is on the ban list. Us Metal Foe players just keep losing. Electromite did a lot wrong, just going to say. Electromite, Brilliant Fusion, no shot. That card's broken. Unbanned, Ptolemaeus, and Unlimited Servant of Endymion. Spellbook of Judgment, no. Blaster, maybe. I would like to see Denglong return. I would not. Magispectre Unicorn Kirin. No. That's Pendulum.
My thing with Magispectre Unicorn Kirin is that I don't know enough about the card to say whether or not it should be unbanned, so I'm on the fence. I'm not going to lie.
Realistically, Kirin could probably come to 1. It could. Ultimate Offering, it'd be funny, but not too toxic, probably. No, that would be horrible.
No. It'd be who gets their Ultimate Offering first wins.
Yeah. Maxi to 2. To 2? Really? Of all numbers, 2? Ib the World Chalice Justiciar. No.
Well, hold on. So, like, Maxi to 2 is... Because it makes it not a 1-card sack, I win. But it also doesn't make it where you're going to see it every game.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, then just put it at 3 and make it a deck choice.
Yeah.
Chicken Game to 3. Probably not. Astrograph Sorcerer.
Chicken Game causes so many rolling issues.
Yeah. Astrograph Sorcerer, no. That grass looks greener. I mean,
again, cool.
I'm that's the one on this list that I'm kind of with. Let's see. We have let's see. Ooh, we had a lot of replies in this Discord server. Electromite to 1, no. Thunder Dragon Colossus to 1, no. The Blackwing cards, no. Trident, yes. Electromite, no.
Bring back the Dragon Mommy.
Eclipse Wyvern, Blaster, and Redox. I don't even like dragons that much, so no.
Okay, so Redox can't come back because it's just a free Monster Reborn. A searchable free Monster Reborn.
Right.
Number 2 with the Eclipse Wyvern. I'm perfectly fine with Eclipse Wyvern coming back, but it's got to be at 1 because at 3 it just turns any Chaos deck into I'm just gonna search whatever I want and you can't stop me.
Okay, let me just read this to you again because maybe you don't remember what Eclipse Wyvern does. If this card is sent to the graveyard, by any means,
banish a card.
Banish 1 level 7 or higher light or dark dragon type monster from your deck. If this card is banished from your graveyard, you can add the monster banished by this card's effect to your hand. No once returns anywhere.
Yes, I very distinctly remember. That's why I said it 1, because then you can only use it once.
No. If this card is sent to the graveyard, so Foolish Barrel, right? You banish a level 7 or higher light or dark dragon type monster. Think about the Thunder Dragons. Okay. So, then, if this card gets banished, think about the Thunder Dragons. The entire deck.
Yeah, you add it back to your hand.
And then you can normal summon it because it's a level 4 and link it off and do it again.
No, you can't because you have to banish it.
But the Thunder Dragons are a Chaos deck.
Yes.
They banish constantly. That's all they do is banish.
But no.
They get all their effects by banishing.
But hold on, no. Once it's banished, it's gone because Thunder Dragons can only fuse using Thunder Monsters. You only get it once because then it's banished. Unless you were returning like Burial from a different dimension. Is that the card?
Burial is at 3.
Yeah. They'd have to start running Burial. Which they weren't doing before.
But the deck surely has ways to recycle their banished cards. That's what the deck's built around.
They're banished Thunder Monsters. Thunder Dragon Fusion recycles banished Thunder Monsters and puts them back in the deck.
No, that's not true.
Have I been misreading? Because I thought it was only...
Why would they run it in Prank Kids if it was only Thunder Dragon monsters?
No, it's Thunder. You have to fusion... Oh, you have to fusion into a Thunder Monster.
Thunder Dragon Fusion.
Yeah.
Fusion summon 1 Thunder Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among your cards in your field, graveyard, or face-up banished
what's
cards.
the material on Thunder Dragon Titan? Is it? Is it Titan or Colossus?
Colossus is the banned one.
Okay,
is
Titan.
banned. Okay. Materials is 3 Thunder Dragon monsters.
Yeah, they can't use Eclipse Wyvern as a material for it.
But there are other Thunder Fusion monsters.
Any of them that can possibly use Eclipse Wyvern?
Hold on.
He's Googling.
I'm Googling.
Well, you go databasing.
Well, Dueling Book.
Same thing.
That's all we really use Dueling Book for these days anyway.
I would too, but my phone died.
Monsters, Fusion, Thunder. Okay, so that doesn't work.
How many Thunder Fusions are there out of
8?
8? Oh, okay.
That's why Prank Kids can use it, because Battle Butler is Lampsies, Dropsies, and Fansies.
And is a Thunder itself.
Yeah. Okay, well, no, literally none of them.
Yeah. See my point?
I still don't think it should come back. It's too good. I guess probably could. I don't know. No. I saw... Okay, no, this is I'm not reading 2 paragraphs about Max C, but no, it can't come back. Max C comes back, I quit, no cap. Yep, me too. Even though I did say just run cross out. Fair,
Yeah,
but consider this card cannot resolve against me if I go to play World of Warcraft. True.
Oh, yeah. And then I commented under that, or Final Fantasy 14, the better game.
Malicious and Call by the Grave back to 3. No.
By the way, the Final Fantasy 14 comment is being said by somebody who played World of Warcraft from Burning Crusade all the way up until Battles of Azeroth.
I don't know what any of that means. Unlimited Servant of Endymion. Everyone's talking about Electromite and Astrograph. Meanwhile, Endymion is nowhere to be seen because it's not going to be played. Misk back to 3. No. Colossus to 1. No. Zodiacs to 1. No. Electromite to 1. No. VFD to 1. No. Meow Meow Mew to 2. No. Harper to 1. Maybe.
Again, with
more decks, more fun? No, those decks are not fun.
Again, with the when you say Zodiacs to 1 and we say no, what we mean is bring one of them back to 1.
But not Broad Bull.
Yeah, bring like Dragon Mommy back to 1, but not Broad Bull. Broad Bull can stay.
Dryden could come back to 1, or Barrage could come back to 1.
Both of them could come back to 1. I think it'd still be fine.
It'd
be less fine, but it'd still be fine.
Rat Pierre to 2. Cause a bit of chaos and let Zoo gain better advantage off Rat. No.
That's funny. Not gonna lie, that'd be funny.
No. All right, that's all we have for today. Today's podcast question of the day is, what's your favorite Christmas carol? With Christmas coming up, we're going to read off the answers to this on the Christmas Eve episode of the podcast. So we want to know, what is your favorite Christmas carol? Be sure to leave your answer on our... You can find the podcast question today on our Twitter at Top Cut Podcast, or in the podcast question today channel in our Discord server, which you need to join if you have not joined yet. Woo! All right, and stay tuned for our locals. Not report, but our recording from our ETB monthly. So yeah. Thanks everybody for listening, and catch you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny. I am here, of course, with my co-host, Caleb.
Hello.
And today we want to welcome you into today's episode at Locals. We have picked up all of our equipment and dragged it over to our Locals ETB Games in Alexandria, Louisiana. Also our sponsor. So thank you, ETB, for allowing us to come in and record live at this event. So we do have the winner of Table 2 here at the event with us. This is Mr. Jack. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
All right. How did your round go for you?
It went good. I went 2-1 against Dragon Maids.
All right. What are you playing today, if you don't mind us asking?
Heroes.
Heroes. All right. That's a pretty cool deck. So are you incorporating the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer package?
Yes, that I recently just picked up last weekend.
Did it make the difference for you today, or do you feel like it hasn't really had anything
it made
yet?
a big difference.
Yeah?
Just being able to Fusion Destiny, send Mally, send Denier, or send Celestial or anything else that I might need, and then just bring out him. It's amazing.
Definitely. How do you feel about the banning of Fusion Destiny in the OCG?
I'm not going to lie. I was worried because I'm like, are they going to ban it in the TCG after a little while? Because I know we're supposed to get the LT print out of the OTS pack. But then I'm like, I'll probably have it for a few more months after that. And then if they ban it, then I'll just be hard making it, which is not as good.
Not quite.
No.
Not quite.
I mean, hey, at least you can.
I mean, yeah, and that's good. And like, I'm happy that with Phoenix Enforcer, I can do more than what everybody else can do. Like, I can shuffle it back out off of a Denier if I need to.
Right. Yeah. I think that Elemental Heroes is a really interesting pick, especially now with Stratos at 3, things like that.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really adds to the consistency of the deck. So what does a typical turn 1 end board look like for you?
Through testing, I've had multiple. It just depends on the hand, really. Like, when I first did test hands, it was Plasma, Malicious Bane, and then Phoenix Enforcer. Or it could be Absolute Zero with a Mass Chain set, Plasma, Bane, Phoenix Enforcer. It just depends on what you open up, and it just goes from there. Like, the deck draws like crazy thanks to Destiny Draw and Liquid Soldier, so.
Right. Do you prefer going first or second?
With the way the meta is now, I'd rather go first. That way, if I can set up Plasma and have my Honest Neos in hand, then I know I can protect them. And then if I have Phoenix Enforcer, then I know I'm really set. Or if and like, whatever else, then at that point, normally I like to have Dread Decimator and him pointing to whatever monsters I've made. So that way, with all my monsters in the graveyard, he'll boost them, and then Destiny and then Phoenix Enforcer will reduce their attack.
So do you find yourself still going for a Dark Law lock early?
No. If I can make the Dark Law, I'll make it, but I'm not going to force it. If I can do the Absolute Zero and the Acid combo, then I'll try to go for that. Depending on just if I can make the Sunrise, get to the Miracle Fusion, and if I have the stuff in the graveyard for it.
Right. I got you. Alrighty. Well, good luck to you for the rest of today's event. Looking forward to maybe hearing from you again. And thanks for coming on.
Not a problem.
All right, everybody. And we're back from round 2. With us today now we have Josh. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good.
Gotcha. You can just lean into the mic a little bit. Yeah. So how did round 2 go for you?
Not as expected, to be honest. Not really expected. I managed to win the die roll, which my deck wants to do. It's a combo deck. But
What are you playing?
I'm playing Infernal Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah. Most people think like the deck is still dead, and like it's definitely degraded from what it once was like in FTK. But through playing it, I realized like there's still some things the deck can actually do. So I chose to enter today with it, but sadly, like I said, things didn't kind of pan out like I did so far. Game one, I should say, for the game that just happened. I ended up breaking. I had Imperial Order, strongest card in the game right now, but the rest of my hand was just unplayable.
Right.
Yeah, like too many hand shots, but like no engine starters or anything like that. So I had to pass, and I'm playing against Sorso Tenyi, which I feel is one of the most valuable decks in the meta right now. So he was able to kill me pretty easily and convincingly. But then game 2 went a little bit better. I was able to actually do my full Infernoble combo, where I ended on double Herald of Arclight, Boral Savage, Auroradon, and Immortal Phoenix. It's a pretty solid board.
Yeah.
It's-
And then some.
Jesus.
yeah, like the deck can still do that, and normally that's a pretty solid board to end on. But of course, I'm playing against Sword Soul, so he was able to like break most of the board. But obviously, seeing that, it kind of takes a little while to get through all that. So like we ended up like going into time during my turn. I was able to like win that round, but time was called, so we ended up getting a draw.
Right. So, do you think that there's anything that could be done on the ban list to help make Infernoble any more consistent, or do you think it needs any help on the ban list? Obviously, you could unban Link Cross, but
Right.
we both know that's not happening.
Obviously that's kind of like the goal. Like you unban Link Cross, it gives the deck like an extra line so it can play through more hand traps, specifically like Nibiru and Imperm. That's the two biggest weaknesses of the deck currently.
Right.
But I think as for now, the deck is fine the way it is. I think it's able to play through most hand traps well enough. The only thing I can think of really, no, really nothing I can think that could come off the ban list that would actually help it aside from Link Cross,
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the deck as a whole with Link Cross gone? I know you said you do feel like it's weaker, but do you still feel like it can contend in today's meta with things like Sword Soul, things like Fluwanderees, things that we have that are Tri-Brigade, etc.?
Understandable. Okay. Through my testing, I think it's still very valuable in the meta. It's just, it's not Sword Soul where it could do all these plays even though your opponent sets up these boards, or like Tri-Brigade where you just activate like Bird Call and that's guess you didn't have Joel,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely takes the right pilot for the deck to actually be viable, and it can definitely hang with some of the top decks. The only one I can't really say much about is Flunderees. I haven't had too much test on that deck, as no one at our locals really plays it. But
Consider yourself lucky.
from what I've seen, what Flunderees could do, I don't think the deck has much of a problem with it. But that's it's neither here nor there.
Right. I got you. Caleb, anything to add?
Not particularly, no.
All right.
Pretty much got everything I was going to ask.
All right. Well, that works. Hey, good luck to you for the rest of the day, and we'll see you at the next round.
Okay, thank you. Oh, can I give a quick shout out to
Absolutely.
my company, Luck and Chuck, for sending me out here to try to support the company and whatnot?
That's awesome. So that's your locals that you go to?
No, that's actually my company that I co-own. The locals I go to is Anubis Game and Hobby in Lafayette.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Where can people find your company that you co-own?
Oh, they can find us on Facebook, or they can find us at lookatchuck.com, or look us up on TCG Player, eBay. We're the lowest, and you can also find us playing at Anubis Game and Hobby on Curran Lane in Lafayette Sundays and Saturdays. Then sometimes we're play testing on Fridays with the YCS champ Kobe Short.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that works.
Cool.
And good, like I said, good luck in the next round. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back after round 3. Oh, what an exciting round it was. Who do we have with us today?
My name is Jacob. I played Evil Twins.
Oh. Why don't you tell us first a little bit about how the round went?
Well, unfortunately, there's not much to say. My opponent is a friend of mine who I drove up here with, and we both know exactly what each other was playing. He was on Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk, and game 1, I opened decently if you have just twin cards, but I had no hand traps and no board breakers, and he went first because I don't win die rolls. But he forgot to side out one card, so he got a game 1 loss. And so
Right.
game 2, well, we both know what each other is playing, so we both sided accordingly, and I drew slightly better. He opened Imperial Order with full combo, but I opened Lancia, Ash, Droplet, Lilla, Reboot, and drew a second Ash for turn.
Wow.
So I stopped him from accessing his Revolt, and I broke his board. The only misplay that we could both figure out was he chose to keep the UDF instead of the Ensemble Robin that he made. And so whenever, he activates his effect to negate my Lilla, I chain Droplet, I go combo, I pop it. If he had kept the Ensemble, he would have been able to get back Barrel Canary and been able to make plays on the next turn, but instead he didn't, so he didn't get access to the birds. Follow-up
Right.
turn, he pitches Kit, summons Karas, I pop the Karas, I Ash the Kit, and that's all she wrote.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's rough.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about the live twin deck with the release of the Sunny Snitch? Or Trouble Sunny?
Trouble Sunny.
Trouble Sunny, yeah.
Although Sunny Snitch definitely helps a lot.
Yeah.
They're
That-
both...
Sunny Snitch came from Dawn of Majesty, I think.
I believe so, yes.
And then Trouble Sunny from Burst of Destiny. Okay.
Yeah, the deck is really, really fun. I love one-card combo advantage engines. It's... I'm honestly quite surprised that just about every piece of support, aside from Treat, that they've gotten since their release in Genesis Impact has been absolutely incredible.
Right. There
Frost,
really hasn't been a wave that was just lackluster. It's all been good.
Yeah, we got 2 extenders. We got a Tenki that searches the extender and has a relevant burn effect. I have won games before where the life points gain and the burn mattered. And then the Link 4 is, whew, she's so nice. Having a relevant boss monster that you can end on. I think she is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she is the highest attack Link 4 in the game right now.
What's her base attack?
3,300.
Maybe?
I can't think of a Link 4 that has more than that.
Yeah, every single one that's coming to my mind is all 3K, 3K,
Right.
3K, 3K, 28, 3K, 3K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they all have effects that get higher than that, but
Yeah.
by base, like, before her, like, your end board would go through 1 Kiss Skill, 1 Lily, you'd end on a Kiss Skill, you'd have a pop, but you wouldn't necessarily have access to a draw unless you had something to get rid of your Kiss Skill.
Right.
And then you were so susceptible to just normal summon something with 1,200 attack, battle phase. But like, so having that makes it to where your opponent actually has to interact with you, and Live Twin is such an interactive deck. Like you have so many flex spots. You can play just about whatever you want. You can play. I've seen Eldritch builds. I've seen Dogmatica builds. I've seen Pure with various like Cybers extenders. Like some people are playing Parallel Exceed. You have so many options. I think the most successful options are like just playing oodles of hand traps. So that's
That
what
was-
I'm modeling my build after.
Yeah, that was my next question. Was I have seen you actually own the Eldritch build before at a previous turn.
Yes, and while I did love it, it had the unfortunate downside of Eldritch never quite being like the best. I'm not saying like Eldritch is awful, but it's
Less than ideal.
It's less than ideal against a lot of decks. Even right now, I think the best Eldritch variants are like just ones that can play a lot of back row, and
then the power is not the Eldritch engine; it's the back row.
it's the back row. Yeah, the Eldritch gets you to your kills faster than other back row decks. But yeah, it's always the floodgates that put in so much work. And the unfortunate thing with twins is that you can't really play a lot of floodgates. I think the only ones I've found that actually work with them, because you can potentially play around them, are anti-spell and summon limit. Because the twin Link 4, for those of you who don't know, it's 1 summon. So you can you flip a summon limit on like a Sword Soul player after get their token, and then they just sit there and look at you, and then you summon, you get a draw, you get a pop, and then that's about it. So you can play under both of those, but like Rivalry your main deck monsters are Cybers, Aqua, Zombie, and your extra decks are Fiends.
Right.
Tikaboo, for obvious reasons. Tikaboo is slightly easy to play under if you are playing against it, because then some builds like play Nightmares. So I play like Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn. But playing it yourself, not going to happen.
Right.
And then
Goes
in,
and they're all different attributes.
the Lillas are lights. Sorry, Lillas are darks, and Kisskills are lights. Yeah.
Right.
So
I got you. Well, so what does that bring your record to for today?
right now, I am undefeated. I had a round 1 bye, which was kind of nice. I drove through really bad weather to get here, so it was nice kind of just having 40 minutes to just chill.
Yeah.
Round 2, I played against Eldritch, actually.
Yeah.
Eldritch DPE. And game 1, he didn't quite know how to trap me. I made a secret spice in my extra deck. I play Linger Rebo because the Lilla and the Kisskill starters are both Cybers, so you can make it really easily. So I made that. I stopped him from hitting me with Torrential, and then I just played through his back row. Game 2, I opened pretty decently, except for I didn't have any starters, so I couldn't punch through. He also opened, I think, double Lord of the Heavenly Prison as well. So he just beat me down with those.
Gotcha.
And then game 3 was I opened Harpies, Evenly, Cosmic, Reboot, Starter. It was insane. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad your day is going well so far, and I hope that it continues to go well.
Thank you very much.
Yep. And we'll catch y'all in the next round.
Bye.
And we are back after round 4. Just one more to go, and we are back with Jacob again. How's it
Hello. It's good to be back.
Awesome. So, how did round 4 go for you?
Pretty swimmingly. I won 2-0 against Invoked DPE.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It's it can be kind of a scary match depending on the assortment of hand traps that I draw and also how stacked my opponent's hand is. Game 1, it was good enough to play through a single negate, but he ended on Macabre Pass. I had Imperm for his Alistair, and he just, like all good Invoked players, already had Vindication in hand, so...
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
But he did not have either Nadir or Fusion Destiny for follow-up, so it passed back to me. He had set 1, it was a Cosmic. So he had set a Cosmic, he had Macabre, and I think he had 2 cards in hand. But I normal summon my twin, he chains Macabre, I chain Droplet, I get my combo going, and then I pop his Cosmic, I have Ash for the follow-up on the next turn when he summons Alistair, and then I get game. Game 2, he made me go first, which was unexpected, but I didn't side too many going second cards anyway, so I had a fully playable hand. Not good enough to play through an Ash Blossom, though. I opened Kisskill and Frost cannot summon if Kisskill's on board. She needs a Lilla, so I summon Kisskill, it gets ashed. I set an Imperm pass. Imperm eats a Cosmic. Alistair eats a Veiler. This time his hand did not have Invocation, but it did have Nadir Servant, and I had Ash Blossom.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. And since he activated Nadir, I figured, well, he's activating Nadir here. He doesn't have Fusion Destiny, so this is a safe Ash Blossom. Passes back to me. I top decked Lilla, summon Lilla, effect, summon a Frost. And because it didn't matter game 1, but I did see a Ghost Spell, so I chose to play around it. I summoned, I had a Frost in hand still. So I summoned Lilla first, and I activated her effect to Reborn. He belled it, and then I summoned Frost from hand, make Kisskill, Reborn, pop, get my Link 4 out. When I hit him for... I forget how much. What did I run over?
Probably the Alistair that he had normal summon.
No, he made Secure Guard, though. So that way he could activate, so when he activated Nadir, he could summon...
right.
Yeah. So, where was I? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I drew Lancia off of the Kisskill draw. So
there you go.
He drops Meltdown, gets another Alistair, activates Alistair, gets invocation, activates invocation, Lancia. That's all she wrote.
There you go. So what does a more versus less playable hand look like in the Live Twin deck for those that are unfamiliar with it?
Your best playable hands usually, obviously you want to win the die roll, which, I forgot to mention, did not win the die roll. I don't win them, not with my dice anyway. So usually you want to win the die roll, and your playable hand, you want to see one starter, one extender, and a couple of good hand traps. You want to see a nice variety of cards as well. So, like, usually twin ratios will play like a bunch of 2-ofs of hand traps, or they'll max out on only the most impactful ones, like a Nib or a Veiler if they're confident in their ability to play with Nib. So, yeah, it's usually a starter, and the best starter is the blue one, Lila. She summons Frost, and Frost is the one that draws you a card when your opponent searches. So you want to start with that. It doesn't always happen, but that's the best thing to do. Playable hands going second, it's pretty much the same thing, although you usually will want to see a board breaker in there next to your hand traps as well, just in case. Droplet is incredible in the Live
so
Twin.
good.
Yeah, it's a good card in general, but Twins just have such a way of working with that card. It's poetry in motion. How well Droplet fits in with that deck.
Yeah, definitely. I got you. Well, I think that we have got to go on and get on into the next round, but thank you for joining us once again.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope to be back.
Good luck continuing at table 1.
Thank you.
Whew. All right, we are back after a tense round 5. So we are here with Trevor. How'd it go, dude?
Oh, it went good, man. Came out at first, man.
Awesome. So that's the final standings. We are done. We're not playing out Top Cut because it's late and people have up to like 5-hour drive home.
Yeah, they got some guys from Arkansas, Lafayette. So
Yeah, definitely.
glad that they repped out, man. They had some really good players come too. They were
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that came in from out of state were like 4 of the top 5.
yeah.
So it was good to see different representation all over, although we got to represent the chop better next time.
Well, I mean, I got it, so like, I
sure,
guess
yeah.
we did. I guess we did okay.
And hey, Cameron's the real winner.
Yeah, he really is. He pulled a freaking Starlight Stratos.
Yeah, and a Mo Yi
and a Heavenly thing.
Lord of the Heavenly Prison
rock
from 6 packs.
Yeah, 6-pack.
6 packs. He pulled 2 of the higher rarity.
Dude is a man.
Yeah, that's insane.
I only pulled a DPE and a freaking Heavenly guy, and then my other one was like the crappy Synchro and like some and like a Snowl. I was like, bro.
I wish I was half as good as Cam is.
Dude.
Jesus.
Yeah,
He's
some
got-
people are. He's built different,
I was
honestly.
saying, he's got fingers of Jesus, dude.
And I think it was at that last case tournament that we all went to. He pulled an ulti out of his OTS pack too.
Yeah,
didn't
he did. Yeah.
Some people are just built different. That's all
Yeah,
there is to it.
exactly. Yeah. Like a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. So what did you play today to take first place?
I played Flunderies.
Okay, so a lot of people have said that deck's bricky, that deck is not as consistent, dies to hand traps, interruptions. How do you pilot the deck in a way where you don't have to worry about those things?
Well, the thing is this, like, you just try to optimize your deck the best way that you can. I don't have Pot of Prosperities, but I do have cards that act like crossout designators and act like Called by the Graves. Like Book of Moon, you obviously have the Call by the Grave, and you obviously have the Dimension Shifters, but also I've decided to play the set rotation with a mausoleum of the, I don't know.
Of the Emperor?
Of the Emperor, something like that, I think. And like you pay a K for every K you pay, you get to use it as a tribute summon. And like, honestly, it could be any field spell. That was just a field spell I landed on to just be able normal summon Impin for 2K.
Right.
You know,
Did
but
the set rotation come up a bunch
I
today?
never played it, but on Wednesday I played another tournament that I got second in, and the set rotation did come up. It stops Impin. It stops Infinite Impermanence. It stops Evenly Match. So it acts like another crossout designator. Also, Gold Sark acts like another cross. So I've got like 9 crossout designators in my deck without having crossout designator.
And then you don't have to play all the bricks of cross.
Exactly. See, that was the thing. Like I cut the Ash. Like sure, activate. What is it? Fusion Destiny on me. Whatever. Like do your DPE, pop my card, then it's just gonna float again. Like I don't care. Because I was running crossout designator because I was like, oh, it works with my engine. I could like in phase banish my bird and then normal summon my bird on my turn. It's like, yeah, but you're waiting 2 turns for it.
Right.
And then the thing is this: everybody's playing they're not playing this stuff for crossout designator. Sure, they're
Right.
playing imperm and stuff like that. Everybody's trying to play around tactics and crossout designator. They're playing droplet. They're playing dark ruler. They're playing
Right.
tactics. They're playing stuff that doesn't have anything to do with crossout, because people say that crossout is bad, but it is warping our format in a sense. People are dropping Ash. People are dropping they're not dropping it's mainly Ash, but they're dropping hand traps and just going with board breakers, which is
Right.
smart. Yeah. So, and I also played Regeki and Harpy's Feather Duster because I don't have Lightning Storms. But it was broken. Every time those cards are at 1 for a reason. It's just for free. Activate. And if I have an open state, one time I had 2 birds, and another bird in my hand with the field spell, and I could tell that his traps were all live. Top deck Harpy's Feather Duster. That's nice 5 cards you got. You'd be ashamed if they went away,
I wish I was that good at the game.
It's not, dude. I'm just a lucky dude. I'm not gonna lie. I think people are trying to be too fancy with the Dogmatica punishments, the Nadirs. I think when you just go bare bones and you just go ahead and you go
Focus on what the deck already does well.
exactly. I can't tell you how many times I've had Gold Sark, Field Spells, 2 other cards. Gold Sark, Field Spell, 2 other cards, and I drew the Wind Barrier statue. And so I go Gold Sark, banish Rabina, normal summon Wind Barrier, get Rabina, activate map, do Rabina. And people also underestimate how good skipping a battle phase is with the barrier statue. I played him a Dolce guy. I can't tell you how many times. Shout out to Caleb. It wasn't Caleb, but shout out to Caleb. I can't tell you how many times I just summoned statue and I could not protect it, but they had to go. I wasn't dying, and they make a couple things. It's like, okay, that's cool. Book of Moon. And, oh my God, Book of Moon overperformed today. Book of Moon is a hell of a card. Going first, going second, anything. Keeping yourself alive, it don't matter.
It functionally can work the same way as a Forbidden Chalice in a lot of ways.
Oh my God, dude.
Because it works better in your deck because you can book your own monster and it can still be there for a tribute summon. But it can work in a board breaker situation too, where either you book their monster and either they have to negate it or they have to respond. It
100%.
It works the same way. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm also at a disadvantage with Flunderies because I can't run Nibiru either.
Right.
But D-Shifter acts like a Nibiru. I can't tell you how many times I D-Shifted, pass. And my opponent was like, pass. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. Let me just... and it stops Droll. And D-Shifter acts like a crossout. It stops Droll and it stops Effect Veiler.
Yeah.
The deck, inherently, the engine protects it. Well, not engine, but things that support the engine protect it. So you don't need crossouts and stuff like that. Actually, the Call by the Grave won me the finals because I thought about taking it out going second, draw my hand, it's there. I go map, Rabina, he goes Lancia, chain call by.
Boom.
Dude, I almost peed on myself. I was so excited. And I thought about taking it out, and I told him, I said, dog, I thought about taking that out. He said, I bet you're glad you didn't. I was like, you freaking right, man. That was freaking dope. Stuff was crazy. Almost peed myself. I'm telling you, I almost peed myself. So hype.
No,
That's going on at the end of the year highlight reel.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, I'm glad that things worked out well for you today, and we do, of course, want to give a huge shout-out to our sponsor, ETB Games in Alexandria, Louisiana, for hosting this tournament. You can, of course, find the link to ETB Games in the description down below. We try to do these battle cities once a month, and if you are in the area, we always ask that you come out. We had a pretty decent turnout today. We had just close to 20 people that turned out.
It did rain, though. The weather got super
storming.
bad. It deterred about 6 more players, so...
I think it was even more than that, because I think there was some coming from Monroe and Shreveport that ended up
I had a
not
guy
coming.
coming from Baton Rouge, but he got delayed because of the rain, probably.
Right. And, people from New Orleans didn't come.
Yeah.
So...
It's just tough. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere.
But at the same time, we're in the middle of everywhere.
Exactly. Everything's like an hour, 30 minutes away. And guys, I just want to stress, guys, please come hang out with us. I am the angriest man in Yu-Gi-Oh! But I try to be sportsmanship. I mean, my teammates get on me, but we generally want to hang out with you guys. I mean, I'm from Team Dad, Sonny's from Team Dad, Caleb's from Team Dad. We want to hang out with you guys. We want you guys to be a part of the community because it's inclusive, we're all a bunch of nerds just sweating and hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
Trevor is the de facto leader of the Team Dark Arm Dealings channel that we plug in the description every episode. So if you do want to see more of Trevor and more of Dylan and more of our locals and our crew, please be sure to also check out Team Dark Arm Dealings in the description down below.
Sorry we don't post enough, but I work. Sonny works. Dylan
Yeah.
works. Caleb
Yeah.
works. We're grown.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can't do what we want.
So thank you, of course, for coming on the podcast and hanging out. It's always wonderful to have you here.
Appreciate
You've been on
it.
a couple of times, but it's fun to have you. So, and next time you hear from us, we will be back in the studio. So thank you, everybody, for listening to our locals.